Hello and a huge warm welcome. My name is Lorraine Davies and I'm the host of this summit, The Expansion. Unleash your infinite potential and reclaim the power within. I am so thrilled to have Colleen with me today. Me and Colleen have hit it right off, and there's going to be, I like no doubt, there's going to be some laughing in here. But before we do get into the full depths of our session today, I'm just going to give you a little insight into who she is and what it is that she does. So Colleen Lindberg is a soul mission activator and spiritual guide. Her mission on earth is to dismantle the conformity infrastructures, so that's a mouthful, holding us back so people can fully embody their potency and power. Now you can see why she's such a perfect fit for this summit. She has over 14 years as an entrepreneur in multiple business facets, and she is also the incredible host of the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. And I am so thrilled to have you here with me today, Colleen.
I am so thrilled to be here. Excited, thrilled, elated. I don't even know what word we want to put to it, but I'm just so grateful to be in your presence, to be amongst all these amazing speakers and people, and let's jam out. Let's have a good time.
Amazing. So I think the best place to start is for you to give us a little bit of an insight into how you fell into doing what you do now and kind of what you've experienced in terms of expansion so that we can kind of address that in the chat.
Well, you mentioned 14 years as an entrepreneur. So when I actually started my entrepreneurial journey, it was very much in pragmatic business coaching, consulting, process development. But at the same time, literally within days of launching that business model, I found my first spiritual mentor and started running the highways, both at the same time, both never connecting together. And over the years, I always felt like something was missing in the business, but I was good at it. I had some success. It was easy, like really easy for me. And I was like, oh, we'll just keep it there. But, over the years, it just kept whispering through, there's something different. There's something else. And, there was times in my life, just like all of you, I believed in the whisper and then I didn't believe in the whisper. And then I rebelled against the whisper and it brought me down all these crazy pathways that I love and adore. I got all the t-shirts too. And it was amazing. And it was like maybe about 5 years ago that I actually started hearing it and listening to it and then questioning it. And there came a time where it was just like, I was certified in everything spiritually, by the way, too, like Akashic records, past life regression, mediumship, automatic writing, animal communication. I took all the courses for fun. I was like, oh, this would be cool to have. And I got certified because I did the case studies, and that's how people knew I was kind of doing some spiritual stuff, but they didn't know because I never promoted it ever. But there came a time where I was just like literally pushed up against the wall, like everything stopped in my life. And I was like, what is happening? And they're like, are you finally ready to listen? Like the voice that kept coming in. And I was like, what do you mean, listen? They're like, we need you to start really embodying this soul mission activation. And I was like, what does this mean? Right? I was like, what are you trying to say to me? And it was like, take the business stuff, but combine it with the Akashic records work and the spiritual evolution side and getting people to really understand that they have a purpose in this life. They have a mission they're here to create. And you can do it and understand it through the records and then own it, embody it, and start leaning into truth. So I rebelled against that for a while until I started getting calls from people that were like, hey, so I heard that you do this like soul work where you help me figure out what I'm here to do in life and then help me get my business aligned that way. And I was like, did the universe text you? Like, how did you find out about this? Because I was rebelling, right? I was like, I'm not going to launch till January. This isn't going to happen. This was like November. And it just all of a sudden started to move. And I didn't have a choice any longer but to step into that space. And then, I started riding the wave. I started moving through it. I started finally surrendering into it, started finally owning it online. I trickled through and then I started getting potent. And now here we are where I'm like, I wouldn't have it any other way but to be fully embodied in the craziness of it all. Because some days I'm like, are you for real? And it's like, just keep going. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm just going to keep listening and keep going. So that's like the Coles Notes version of it. So many other stories in there, but like, that's the gist of how I got to like this exact moment of time, really. So, yeah.
I love, and there's going to be so many people watching this who are going to feel this is so relatable, that there is these constant nudges, like from your higher self or from the universe, like you should be doing this. And you're like, nope, no, I'm not doing that. And our logical brain likes to kick in and go, no, I'm not going to do this now. I'm going to do this in 3 months' time. And I know that that's what's so awesome when we hear fabulous people like yourself speak, because we go, oh, yeah, oh, I did that too, or I'm doing that too. And I think this is a beautiful moment for people to have that recognition piece and to go, but what happens next is when they choose to follow their soul purpose and they choose to truly become activated, like you did. You chose to lean in. All these pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, right, started to
come together. Absolutely.
Come together.
Well, and it got, so a couple of things. I always talk about 2 keys. At the beginning, we need 2 keys to move forward. We need grit and we need courage, because it's not going to be easy to speak your truth. It's not going to be easy to own your power, because for so many years of your life, you've been playing around in the kiddie pool, sort of kind of stepping in. Your best friend knows the secrets of you, but you haven't exposed yourself to the world. So we need those 2 keys to get going. But once we move through those keys and we're like in it and we start to move it like this, now all of a sudden it's like, we're not drudging in the shit storms anymore. We're literally embodying and moving through, and we're like, oh, and then the wings start to expand, and then our heart opens. And now it's like, where crazy shit happens all the time, right? You like random clients start to come in, or you get asked to be on a podcast that opens up this plethora of ideal people that you want to work with, and life becomes easier. But we need to move through this dynamic and make choices and step in and embody and show our truth and be vulnerable and be real fully. I'm not talking about half in, I'm talking about exposed. Talk about the stuff that you feel, talk about the stuff that you see. Like, a lot of you guys see spirits and you're not talking about it because of the fact that you're scared of what your mom's going to think of you, or, you know, you're not showing up online in your potency of power because you're scared as fuck to own that, you know. And I hopefully that I'm allowed to swear here because it's just coming through me and I'm just going to trust that. Yeah, okay, good. And moving into that space, but it's like, yeah, it's going to take some grit. It's going to take some courage. And some people are not going to like it. They won't, but it's your mission. It's your light. It's your activation. And it's like, it gets so much easier when you fully step in and embody it. When you're only half in, it's like, it's still hard. It will keep being hard. It will keep being struggled. It will keep being chaotic. You won't have the clarity you desire because you're not fully in it. Like, go all in. So, yeah.
I literally have like the full body, like, you know, the hairs on the full on body. They're on edge.
I call it. I'm like, whoo, here it is, right?
Here it comes. And I think the thing is, because like I can see this in my own story, those moments where I've been on the brink, like, you know, like I've had it, like you say, on the side of the pool, like you're like, oh, I just dip my toes in and see how warm it is, or I'll just, you know, like on the edge of you're just on the brink of it, and you can see your potential, and you just know it's, you know, at the core of you that you are meant for so much more, and that there is a bigger calling that you're here to do. But you're right, it absolutely takes courage to take that leap of faith. And I think this is where, when we talk about a topic like expansion, I think there'll be a lot of people watching this who are like, yes, I am ready for expansion. Like, I am so freaking ready. But then there's that, if they wait too long, it's that, I always say to clients, you know, right, you can need to move on this in 24 hours. When you've made a decision on something, like, move, because you just wait, you wait too long and your brain convinces you not to do the thing. And then it's harder to kind of get going. And I think what you shared so beautifully there is that once you've done those 2 keys, like the courage and the grit, it's like you've opened up both the doors, and the full flow can happen.
And it's a powerful energy to be in, and it will take healing. It will take us dealing with our stuff. It's going to take, well, you might be in a dark night of the soul right now, and you get and understand what that means, because you're dealing with the shadow stuff blocking you. The things needed for you to move through are going to start to show up, but you can move through them quicker, in rapid time, and understand them more. And sometimes you're going to have to take a rest. You will. But the whole expansion energy is really understanding this truth in you and stepping into that, in the trust that you will be taken care of, and the trust that you will be supported, and the trust the tools will drop in, the people will align, and they will when you're all in. It's those times when you're dabbling. Like I say, I mastered the kiddie pool, man. I knew exactly what the level of water was. I knew how to float in it. I knew how to put like I was the master of the kiddie pool. And then I would like go into the adult pool for like one day and be like, I'm fucking in the adult pool. Yep. And then I go back to the kiddie pool, back to the conformity, back to the comfort zone. Right. And I'd float in and out of this. And then I moved to Costa Rica and now I'm in the ocean and I'm going, you're in the ocean. Like everything is expanded here. You need to now make a decision. Are you going to play the game of life and actually play with what is coming through you and this desire and this movement of energy? And this is yours. This not someone, this is yours. Are you really? Are you, Colleen? Are you really? And this is the questions that like, and I've been playing in this field for a year. Like I do well in life. I do well, but it's like, it's not about the well, it's about the impact. And I made a proclamation over the weekend, Lorraine, that was like, I want to light a million lights, 1 million lights, whether that's through my podcast, my content, my free masterclasses, programs, one-to-ones. I want to touch 1 million people. And if I can get 1 million lights lit, that is a massive endeavor of movement of light in the world, because I know you're lit, you're making your ripple effect and you're going, but it takes me to step in. It's me, it's here. It's my all in embodiment. And yeah, it's a pretty cool energy to hold, and it doesn't feel scary any longer because I know that it's in me. And that's the thing too, to recognize and understand, it's that in you energy. So yeah.
And I love that it's already inside of you. It's one of my favorite things to say to people, like, you have everything you need and it's already inside of you. You just have to choose to turn in and then to take action on what is here. And to move from that space. And I think when you're talking about, I just could sit here and just listen. I'm like, yes, I agree with that. Yes, I agree with that. And I think what's really interesting when you talk about this expansion piece, I could literally see, my mind was literally like stepping into this bigger energy version of yourself. And I think, you mentioned courage, you mentioned grit. When it comes to doing this work, it's recognizing that it's gonna feel uncomfortable and it's gonna feel like scary to start with, right? But I also think the thing I love to talk about, and I know you'll probably be the same thing, same like wavelength here as I am, is that when we're expanding, like, we have to be willing to hold it all. And the reality is, the reason that most people don't ever step into the fullest of their potential is because of fears of what other people are going to think of them, or what they're going to say, or their fear of failure, or the fear of the consequences of success. And the reality is that we have to get so comfortable with those edges and be like, you know what, if somebody is not very nice to me, I'm so comfortable with that because I'm so grounded in myself and my mission that it just becomes like non-negotiable. It becomes non-negotiable for you to live that purpose. But to start with, it's not going to feel comfortable.
Because it goes against everything we've been conditioned and taught. Like the actual mechanism of earth experience, like the 3D world we are in, teaches us scarcity, teaches us lack, teaches us fear, teaches us to conform, teaches us to follow the rules, where the energy of expansion goes against all those teachings. It talks about owning your light and being in abundance and holding the vibration of alignment, to not conform and work in a box, to be fully expanded in possibility. So it goes against everything we've been taught. So therefore, we have to literally consciously, that's why grit comes up first, consciously make a choice every day to move the needle here. And then once we keep moving that and we expand and we do our meditations and we embody and we make imprints and we launch and we do all the things, we then start to go, and then it gets easier because this is who we are and we remember it. Whereas this, we're conditioned in a program. So every day we're dismantling the program and we see it happening, right? When you start to lean into your truth, you're going against the grain of probably 90% of the people in your life, unless you're hanging out with people that are at the summit, or you're hanging out with speakers that are expanded, or you're in different networks or groups that are holding the bar high for you to be able to step into that. But most people, when they first start to get in this mode, don't have resources. Most of my clients are like, I don't have anyone in my life. And I'm like, that's why I'm creating a community. that's a low offer. People can get in and find friends, like just people that get them, so that when they're going through this, and that's what's needed. But we need to really understand and recognize that we've been conditioned here. Now we're in the remembering phase of this expansion of our soul's imprint, of our Akashic records, of all of it here, remembering who the fuck we really are, and now embodying that and bringing it to life in that energy of creation. And that's all we're doing, literally remembering. And if we can really imprint into that and like pull that forward, every day is like, if it's in me, it's for me. If it's in me, it's for me. I'm just remembering. All of it's here. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. It's so freaking beautiful. So obviously you've talked a little bit about the Akashic records, but for anybody on here who's maybe seen it online but doesn't actually know much about it, can you give us some more information about that for us?
And I know we came together that way. That's why I'm leaned in a little bit to it, because I know that this was something that you wanted us to explore in this conversation. Here's the most simplest way that I describe it to people. It's like the filing cabinet of your soul. So our soul has multiple lifetimes that it's been incarnated, and everything is in the Akashic records. It's like you open up your records and we have access to all of it. So all your past life, all your future life, all of the lessons you're here to learn, your missions on earth, distortion that you've picked up over the way, any type of trauma response, any energies from past lives that are still current in this life. It's everything. Soul's imprints, soul groups, like your training, like your key dynamics to your soul, everything can be found in the records, and each person can access their own, or they find practitioners that open them for them and do work within them. But yeah, it's like, it's the easiest way to describe it, really.
I love that, because it gives you that visual image. I imagine literally going through a filing cabinet and being like, okay, which life am I going to look at now? And what was going on in that lifetime? And I think when we realize, and I love because obviously so much what you talk about is the remembering. It's that this resource is already inside of us to be able to tap in and go, hang on a second, right, okay, I'm reliving this experience, or I've reincarnated with this soul before, and this is what I'm learning. Or all of the things that you can learn is not out there, and it never was out there. It's always been inside of you, and it's just learning to tap into that inner guidance system, that inner compass, that inner filing cabinet, and pull out what you need to know to help you move forward. And when it comes to these pieces, this having the grit and the courage, and ultimately that is so much easier when you've got a clear direction to move in, to take to know the first step. And I think that's why most people never start, is because they're like, which step though? Which one's the right one? It's like, just listen to that nudge from inside of you that goes, this step, and you're okay, I'm gonna move.
Now, like the work I do helps people really align in that. But if they're not in that space of being able to hire a person, or they don't desire that, like you just said, it's that whisper. You are being directed by your higher self and intuition every single day of your life. Whether you're choosing to hear it or not, it's happening. So some of us, need to be smacked across the face with a 2x4, which I definitely have had happen to me multiple times in this life. Okay, guys, I'm not sitting over here on my little podium going, look at me, I'm perfect. It's like, no, there's been times that I've been smacked, tear down, put up against, I've had all of the dynamics, because I was really stubborn, and I was like, nah, I don't think I want to do that. They're like, I don't think you understand. You signed a soul contract to this. This is a binding energetic agreement. You don't get a choice to not do it. You will eventually have to do it. Now you can decide whether you do it the hard way, or whether you listen now with grace and ease, and we now move it through. But apparently I just really like the struggle. So I was like, okay, I don't any longer. I finally surrendered into, what if we just had it easy? That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? Right, in that space of time.
And leaning into the crumblings, because I love that idea of that being hit by a piece of wood. I was like, because when you say that, I can see the key moments in my life which have been the crumblings. And each and every time, it's almost like there's been the first time around, it took freaking ages, because I just was my fingernails were like clinging on in there, going, nope, no, I'm not doing it, nope. And then each time it has actually got progressively easier. But I think the message to take away from this for anybody watching is that it doesn't have to be that freaking hard. Like if you choose surrender much earlier on, if you choose to learn the lessons that life is giving you in this lifetime and go and listen to the callings of your soul and then action them, you don't have to go through what we've been through, which is multiple crumblings. Because the thing is, it is that I feel like the nudge from your soul is it gets louder. Like it starts off as like a little tap, tap, tap. And then if you don't listen, it just gets gradually louder and louder and louder until literally your whole life falls apart. And that was kind of what I definitely experienced, was literally like a crumbling in every single area before I was like, please help me. Like, this is not where I'm meant to be.
Totally.
So it doesn't have, right? It just doesn't have to be that hard. So if somebody's brand new to this piece of the jigsaw puzzle, especially in terms of things like Akashic records, like where's the best place to start? We know they're inside of us, but how can we access them?
So our soul resides in our heart chakra, like in the center of our heart. So you can even think about it as the organ of our heart. Literally our imprint is here, our soul's here, our connection to ourself is here. Now our connection, most people are like, but isn't it through the third eye? I'm like, no, that's dimensional energy. That's other energies through these two chakras, right? It's outside of us. This is inside of us. So you could call it the sacred heart temple. You could call it the intuitive space, but the Akashic records, our soul's imprint is here. So I teach people this all the time, is like, if you just close your eyes and breathe, like literally, if you close your eyes and breathe, and you take some breaths and you ground in. So the first thing is about getting present in the body. Okay. We can't hear anything if we're not present. So we've got to start to feel the body, feel yourself seated, feel the blood running through your veins, get super potently here it. Start to feel your heartbeat in your mind to get connected into your body. Then imagine opening up the heart. Imagine opening it, whether it's a light beam, whether it's like a flower blossoming. I take people through all different visualizations in different ways, and open up your heart. Now your connection to yourself is open. So when you're grounded in and you're present in your life and you move through this space of, you can now start to ask yourself the questions within that space and you have it open. Now, some people are like, I don't trust it, or I want to go deeper, or all that. Then you could take a certification with me and I could teach you if you want. But, you could go online and grab a video on YouTube and someone else might show you another way. But it really is that easy to get into your own records because they're yours. Now, if you want to access others, totally different energy, totally different thing. It's a whole other ball game for other people. But within yourself, this is the portal. Actually, I have a free meditation on YouTube where I teach people how to open up their heart. So that might be something that someone wants to go in and feel, but it is like this, it's here. And then you start to trust. And usually it drops in at first, like small things, like I always remember a couple small moments in my life where I pretended not to listen, or I heard it and then I didn't do, and then something happened, like, you should take your keys with you. And I'm like, why? I'm going to the garbage, right? Go to the garbage. I come back and my door's randomly locked. Like, but luckily the day before I listened when it said you should unlock that window. So luckily the day before I unlocked the window so I could actually get back into my house, although it was 8 feet up, I had to find something to stand on. And then I had to do like the tricep push-ups to try and get up, knowing that my triceps were super weak, and like this whole like endeavor. But it's like those small things start to show up for us to listen. And then we start to take action, and then we start to build that connection within ourselves of that trust and surrendering and moving through. So yeah, like, I don't know does that answer your question?
Oh, that is beautiful. That was perfectly answered. And I love as well you focusing on there as well, the building of trust, because I understand, you can see why it's difficult if you're not used to tuning into your heart space and really listening. And the first time you do this, you get, a really big nudge. You're not going to want to take action on it because it's a big, scary, big life-changing decision. But if you just start taking those intuitive nudges and following, it builds up that self-trust. And that's going to help you in so many areas of your life. But it's so much easier to continue that journey into following your soul, your soul purpose. If you start with the little things, I remember when I first started really connecting in, and I started listening, I'd be like, what do I need? It's a great question. I started out with, what is it that I really need today? And I remember one time it's like, oh, you need to play. And I was like, okay, cool. What does that look like today? What does that, I was like, get on the kids' the message was get on the kids' trampoline and go and jump. And the adult mind wants to pop in and be like, don't be ridiculous, it's raining outside. But when we take those little steps and then we lean into that moment, it's like this unraveling that continues to happen. It's like the next step, we're showing the next step, and we're showing the next step, and we're showing the next step, because we took that first step into the process.
It's so important. And it's those little things. And when we do get present in our bodies and we do play and we start to get curious, it opens up our creative portal way. So then more can drop in. Because it's in those times where we're reserved, or we think we need to be something, or we're like adulting and we're like, we can't go there, that all of the mechanism starts to fall away, like in that space of our connection within ourselves. But when we actually drop into kid-like adventures and to go play and to like really be and to dance our butts off and to just be in the present moment of our lives, we then can open up more present moments of our life, which then expand us into trusting and connecting and being available to hear. I went on Sunday I was hanging out with, so I'm in Salt Lake City right now for a conference. And on Saturday, one of the girls is not leaving till late Sunday. And she said to me, let's hang out tomorrow. And I was like, yeah. I said, what do you want to do? And I wanted to go hiking, but she didn't have stuff here for hiking. And because like there's a lot of mountains and stuff here, right? And then all of a sudden I saw a scooter and I was like, dude, what if we rented these electric scooters and booted it around town? And she was like, yes. So literally for like 5 hours on Sunday, we plugged this scooter in and we literally booted. And then we made stops all the way through to go like experience different dynamics of Salt Lake City. We'd stop at this church she wanted photos at, or we go to this park, or we go have a craft beer or whatever it was. And we played and we laughed and we fell off the scooters while we were trying to film ourselves, while we're trying to throttle the scooter. And like, we just were. And that opened up a whole new availability for us to see, feel, meet different people, because we were playing. So, yeah.
Oh. And when you were talking just then, I was thinking about this play element and the being in the present moment, because I think when people are thinking about, so I've seen it myself and I've seen it in my clients, when you're thinking about over there, like, this is who I want to be, this is the vision, this is what I'm creating, this is what I'm working towards, and it's all out there. It's very easy to get so focused on where you're going that you miss the present moment, when actually that is where everything's being created.
All of it. Yeah. It's powerful. It's so powerful. It's like it, and we've been taught, like, and I've talked about this already, the programming is taught, be at work, fill your calendar full of stuff, keep moving, keep being busy. Because when you're busy, you're actually doing something, but it's actually the opposite. It's when you're actually connecting in, and now you're expanding energy, where you can now open up possibilities, where your 9 to 5 pays you, let's say $200 a day to be at work, where if I actually play an expansion, I can make that in minutes in my field, and completely dismantling the old school structures we've been living within. But it's in play, it's in being present, that I can hold it and be in it now. Like, it's crazy to think when we do this, because it's completely against our mindset and the normalcy of what is playing out in the world. But expansion isn't normal, although it is an integrative energy in all of us. It's just not talked about, because the light gets moved through the world. And then what? We're dismantling all the infrastructures that are trying to keep us here, right? So, yeah.
That availability is knowing that is available to you, that expansion is available, it's there, but it is here in this present moment, and that choosing to tap in, and that choosing to follow the joy, and to follow the play, into opening up into the potentials right now in the moment, rather than choosing to believe what you've believed for however long, because it's not truth. I think this is, we're being called right now. I know that there's a huge awakening, and I think that's why when this summit dropped in for me and I was told it was the expansion, it was like, by the way, this is what it's called and this is what it's got to cover, that it really came from this space of, there is this awakening going on. Everybody is noticing that if they are wanting to show up we need to show up as conscious leaders, We need to be showing up as heart-led leaders. We need to be showing up as those people who are willing to go against the norm and embrace the fullness of our light. Because it is this ripple effect, like when you were talking earlier about, you want to touch it, like light up a million souls. Because that doesn't just light up a million souls. Every single leader who takes action off the back of this conversation and chooses to move their life, that has a ripple effect that can touch the lives of literally millions and millions and millions.
Because when we're lit, like, we're not just lit on calls like this, we're lit everywhere in our life. Like when we take a scooter down the street, every single person passing us is getting imprinted in light if they choose to take it in to their field. Where I smile at the grocery store, or I'm at the gym sweating my butt off in the middle of a squat, but I start laughing because someone's laughing at me, and we spread that joy into the world. That's a ripple effect. And that's millions in my life that I get to meet and see in the world, wherever I go, traveling, on planes, in buses, in car, everywhere I go. Right. And it's so, sometimes I think that we think so linear. It's just me. It's just me having the courage to step in. It's like, dude, it's your imprint of light that is ripple, because you've already made contracts. So when we talk about Akashic records, your soul made a decision before coming in to say, I'm in for all of this. And you sign the dotted line and you put your palm on it, even though you don't have palms, on the other side, but still, like in the visual, you put your palm on it and you commit. And then when you commit to that, all these other souls say, I'll commit to you. I will be your people. I will be in this alignment with you. So right now, if you're not playing the game, you're not serving all the people that already said, they already said yes. You just now need to step in and shine your light so they can find you, because they're looking for you. They woke up this morning saying, I want this, I desire this. And they are calling out in the universe for you right now, asking for you to step in. But we're playing in our fucking kiddie pool, thinking that it's okay that we're in mediocrity over here, not shining our light bright, when somebody is my whole body's in goosebumps, by the way. Somebody is calling out for you. They're going, I need this person. And it's you, because you said yes to them before you even got into this body. So I hope some of you feel that in your fields right now, because I'm like, whoo, that was dropping in hot.
It's dropping in hot, and it makes me really emotional. Because it makes me really feel like I just would love for every single person watching this to just take that moment to turn in and recognize their power and their potency. Because like you just said, that people have already signed that contract with you. They are looking to work with you to light up the rest of the world. They are just waiting for you to step into it, to go, I'm in. I'm in. I'm ready. And that is always going to be a choice. And I think that's one of the things that I remember thinking years and years ago when I first fell into personal development. Look back at 2012. I just remember I had this moment like a dark night of the soul. And I was just like, I am meant to do something freaking important. I'm here for like a really big reason. And I just cannot tolerate less than that. And I know that, what I love about this kind of space is that we naturally attract, right, people who are like-minded souls. So that I know everyone watching this has that same fire inside of them, that same recognition that, mediocrity is just simply not, you just won't tolerate it. Like, I won't tolerate that in my life. Because I know that the impact of what we're going to create together is so freaking powerful. We have to take that. I have to take that step. We have to make that choice. Keys.
We need a bit of grit and we need courage. And once we get, like, literally, it's like, I watched the movie, We Bought a Zoo. Okay, random movie, but I love movies like this. Like, they buy a zoo, obviously. But the dad in the movie was saying to his kids, so he met their mom in a coffee shop, and he walked by the coffee shop and saw her. And he says to his son, it's 10 seconds of courage. I opened the door. I had 10 seconds of courage. I walked up to her and I said hi. They didn't know each other, but I remember that imprint. It's like, some of you need to just take a breath in and make a call. And some of you need to take a breath in and say, I got this, and make the post and go live and hit this on the things. And some of you need to have courage to speak to your kids in a certain way to start to unravel some of the stuff that's moving through, because you know your imprint is this mother that you haven't been, you know, for these children. And I say that with so much love and respect. I have no judgment on anybody's pathway, but we've been playing in a field of thinking it's okay that we're only okay. And it's not, because you've been hearing the messages, you've been feeling it. Something's been telling you to launch the product. Something's been telling you to step into the space. Something's been telling you to call that company because they desire to work with you, but you are chicken shit over here in this corner thinking about all the things of reasons why you shouldn't, when you forgot the one reason why you should, because you can. Right. And that's the thing. If I can like impart anything, it's like 10 seconds of courage. And if you do it today, do it again tomorrow. Where do you need it? And just go boom and boom and boom into the space of things. And that's where the magic really is. And that's where the life, our lives are good. Our life is good. Like it is, it's good. And some of you have amazing relationships and some of you are like, my life is good. I'm not asking if your life is good. I want to know, do you want this deep rooted, connected life of peace, of joy, of expansion, of love, of spreading that into the world at the degrees you don't even understand yet because you haven't touched it yet. But once you touch it, you're going to be like, holy shit, that's what she meant. Because I can't put into words what it feels like until you experience it. And once you know it, you're going to be like, I don't want to live a life anymore of just this good. I want to live in this expansion life that is your choice every day. But right now you're choosing not to hold it. So when are you going to make a choice to hold it is the question. So
I remember hearing way back when, if not now, then when?
Yeah.
And the reality is that we can keep postponing. And the same as with not listening to the nudges of your soul, you can keep putting it off and 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 keep putting it off. But ultimately, you know, the person who's suffering most in that moment is you, right?
I know.
If you keep postponing it, there's always that feeling inside of you of like, I was made for more, like I'm meant to be doing something else. And it's just like it hangs around like a bad smell of like, come on, you're not doing what you're meant to be doing.
Totally.
And, so if not, you know, I would love to add to what Colleen just said then is, you know, if not now, then when? Because but we know that in this lifetime there is in the 3D world there is a point at which this journey in this lifetime is done. And I know that certainly for me, I lost my dad in 2020 to pancreatic cancer, and that was like a moment for me. It was this moment of like, I chose to be brave, and there were things in my life that I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like I let go of a whole business. I just went, nope, that's not mine. That's not what I'm going to be doing. And it does take that moment of courage and bravery. And I think just, you know, don't wait for those moments for something really drastic to happen before you take the action. Recognize that you can choose that right now. You can choose to go, today's the day. And if today's the day, then me and Colleen were talking before we got on, you know, if today's the day, then 24 hours, what are you going to do in the next 24 hours? Take action on that thing, because you know, your brain would love to convince you not to do the thing, not to start the business, right? Not to be brave and make those changes in your relationship, like whatever it is. So just move.
And you know, I've been having this conversation a lot over the last few weeks with people. It's like, you're never going to be ready. There's never a perfect time ever. It's right now. It's you making a decision, and all the pieces will keep falling into play. And you may think, well, I need this and I need this and I need this first. No. How about you just start to take action, and then you can create in that moment? Because if you take this and you feel this in your body and you're like, this is it, like I feel this is like, and you're ready to go. If you wait till you're ready to move on this, the ignited flame in you, unless you listen to this again, the ignited flame in you is going to slowly start, because how it really ignites, one action and another action and another action, and then it starts to build and build, and then you get more confident, and then you're able to speak more, and then you're able to move it, and it's just like this momentum moves through. But you can't create it until you move. Just move. It's all good. And if you do it wrong, there isn't a wrong. Just want to let you know, just maybe it got a little bit challenging at the beginning because you're like, I wish I would have known to use that software instead of this one. Who the fuck cares? Start. Just start. You're never going to be ready ever. You won't. I get, like, you will not. And if you are ready, you've waited too long. That's what I'm going to say.
I agree with you. I don't think you are ever ready. I've never been ready for any of the major decisions that I've made. I've just gone, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I was never ready to own that I was a psychic and channeler, and I got pushed into that. I wasn't ready this year to teach Akashic record certification programs because I have to create manuals, and I hate manuals. I'm already at level 2, it's done. Okay, now I have to do level 3, which is going to be pretty extensive, but I was like, I wasn't ready. I didn't have manuals created. I didn't even know what I was teaching half the time. But when I launched it, people signed up, and I went, okay, there's something about this, and now I have to step in accountability to create inside of that space of it. But I wasn't ready this year. I wasn't ready. I've been doing this work for a long time, and I avoided it for a year, but it's meant to come through the world. It's meant to ripple. I'm meant to serve in this way, to ignite more lights in this potency so they can go serve more people. All right, I got to step in. Like, it's part of who I am. I don't have to do anything, but I have to, because I've made a commitment that I will listen and I will take action. So, yeah.
And I think this is, it comes beautifully, just before we finish off, but it comes beautifully back around to this idea of, of community and of the kind of support that you want to be seeking out. If you're watching this, it's not enough to just sit here and watch it. The action has to be taken. And if you are not feeling that that is something you can do on your own, this is why we have such a beautiful array of incredible experts like Colleen on here today, because the reality is that taking those, we need to be held accountable sometimes to those steps. And sometimes holding ourselves accountable is that just doesn't cut the mustard. Right?
No,
do you know what I mean? Because there's always an excuse we can come up a reason. There's always a reason why we can't do something or won't do something. And I think it's just that reminder of how important this community piece is, and seeking out coaches, leaders, mentors, peers, people who are also on this journey, who are also doing the work, who are doing the deep healing work, who are choosing to listen to the intuitive nudges every day and to move even when it's uncomfortable, because they're the people who get it, who get your journey. And that's why it's so important. So I know that we could chat for like another 5 hours, but we haven't got 5 hours. So before we finish off today, have you got any last burning things that you are being called to speak into existence and to share with everyone who's watching this?
I think the finalizing message of today's energy is just really remembering that you matter, your light and one person's light. So I this quote came through my field over the weekend, and it's like, one choice can change a day, one day can change a life, and one life can change the world. And if you really feel that into your body and you really sit with that, you matter. The choices you make today matter. The choices you make, tomorrow are going to matter for not just you, but for all of it. So trusting that inside of you and leaning into that and leading in that is like where the potency really lies. So I think that that's a really cool way to complete our conversation.
Really cool and really powerful. I'm like, so finally, gorgeous soul, can you tell people how is the best way to connect with you, to come play in your world?
Well, Instagram is my jam, so come and find me on Instagram. I'm sure you'll have the links, but it's literally the Colleen Lindberg. So that's where I play a lot. I show up there every day on Instagram, so come and play with me there. And then, we were talking before we hit record that I was like, oh my God, this is such a powerful gift I gave you guys. I gave to the collective here in this experience, we'll call it, a free kind of light language transmission download on deepening your intuitive connection. So if you really desire to kind of start listening to yourself and start really holding this and start to lead in this, that will help you. And if you don't know what light language is, it's like a galactic language. So it's like a quantum field energy. So it will just help accelerate it in such power and potency that you will be thanking me later for it, I'm sure.
I mean,
That's
I
about
can't
it.
listen to it. I was going to say, I can't wait to listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't know about everyone else. I'm like, where is it now?
Yeah, no, let's get it
So,
done.
get it done. And that is a beautiful action step, right? If you don't know where to
Mhm.
start off the
Yeah.
back of today's call, step one, go get that. Go get that, go do that. Because
Yeah.
that's a great, as you moving
Yeah.
closer to your soul purpose by reconnecting in.
So powerful. Mhm.
Oh my goodness, I have had such an absolute ball chatting with you today, Colleen. Thank you so much for your time, your energy. So many light bulb moments, like so much wisdom drops, like so many mic drop moments, you know. So I am so grateful for you, and I know that everybody watching this will be filled with so much gratitude and love for you too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Thank
thank you
you. Really.
everyone.
I just want to say, yeah, yeah. And thank you for creating this, like you followed the call and the nudge so that we all could be here together to learn, experience, and feel. So I just want to make sure I recognize you as well in this. So thank you for seeing me as I see you. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, so that is goodbye from us. Until next time. So thank you so much for watching, and I will be talking to you again really soon. Bye for now.